everybody, today is Friday, June 19th, so that's Juneteenth, so hope everybody has a good celebration and people are kind to one another. We need to have more kindness and more compassion in our world, and it starts with us, so if you can, as I say, pay it forward. But it's a little bit chilly here today in my southwest suburb of Chicago. It is almost 8 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, and it is 60 degrees. So I'm actually having to wear my hoodie. Yeah, it's a little bit chilly, isn't it, Shayla? So, but I'll take it. But it's supposed to warm up really quickly, and it's supposed to be a high of 78. And right now, the humidity is at 98%, so it is quite humid. But with the cooler temperature right now, it doesn't feel that bad. But it will be warmer, and then we're supposed to be in the mid-80s Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday is Father's Day. So, many of the fathers are out there watching my channel. I wish you a happy Father's Day for Sunday. Let's see. Yesterday I had my pulmonology appointment, and it went pretty well. It was too soon for me to do another pulmonary function test. That's a breathing test, to see if the new inhaler medications have made any improvement. Because in February, my pulmonologist APN put me on Spiriva and then Breo. And Breo is similar to the Advair Discus, which is what I was on. But we had to change to that because my prescription insurance no longer covered the Advair inhalers for some reason. So now I'm on Breo and Spiriva. I don't care for the Spiriva because it's kind of a difficult device to use when you have to switch out to the next little canister of the medication. It's hard to put the clear plastic cap back on, so it's kind of a challenge. If I was an older senior citizen with severe arthritis in my hands, I would not be able to utilize that medication. So anyway, my voice is kind of dry, and I don't really have a lot of volume right now. I don't know why that is. Woke up this way. Maybe I'll have some hot tea with honey and lemon. I also have the ginger root, the real ginger. And I have some apple slices, so I was thinking of making, and I have cinnamon. So I was thinking of making a pot of homemade ginger, apple, cinnamon tea. So thinking about that. But it's pretty quiet right now. My neighborhood is still pretty much asleep. There's one neighbor in back of me right now that's out on their patio, and sounds like they're filling up their watering can to water their plants. We got a lot of rain, and that was a good thing because the ground was really parched and cracking. So, but we're not supposed to have rain until possibly Sunday on Father's Day. it's not a strong chance yet, so maybe it'll be sunny. And I normally don't go to the cemetery on Father's Day or Mother's Day because those are super, super crowded weekends. So Nathan and I will probably go to the cemetery to put something by my dad. And we need to put something by my mom and my grandma and grandpa. We haven't been to the cemetery yet because there's been just too much going on. But hopefully we'll have a good weekend here. I know it's kind of a hard weekend for Nathan on Father's Day because he didn't have a good relationship with his dad. His dad was not a very nice man, so anyway, today is the official opening of the President Obama Library. So that's exciting. It looks like it's going to be a nice sunny day, so it'll be nice for the crowds of people that are going to go there. I'm eager to go there and check it out, but I'm not gonna go when it's like super, super crowded. Hopefully we can pick a day where it's not too crowded, but I really admire President Obama, and I think he's one of our best presidents. You know, some people love him, some people hate him, but I'm thankful for him because he was able to get the Affordable Care Act passed. And the plans may not have been perfect at first, but you know, they've made some tweaks along the way. And if there wasn't the Affordable Care Act, I probably wouldn't be here, because at that time I was really, really bad off. I was on portable and home oxygen, and with all my other chronic medical issues. And one of the good things about the Affordable Care Act is it covers pre-existing medical conditions. So without that stipulation, I probably would not have been here at this point. Because I remember my cardiologist saying that he did not think I would have a good chance of making it to the age of 50. And that was before my gastric sleeve surgery. So he really, really helped me get that procedure. He recommended that I go to Alexian Brothers, because at that time the hospitals closest to me didn't have any bariatric surgeons, so they didn't do those procedures. And he said Alexian Brothers, you know, has a really good reputation. So I went there, and the bariatric surgeon was very hesitant and didn't think I would, you know, be a good candidate for the surgery because of all my medical conditions. So he was going to decline doing it, and my cardiologist called him and persuaded him to do the surgery. And I did really well for quite a few years. And, you know, I don't know, I fell back into bad habits, you know, eating habits, and so I gained about half of the weight back, but now I'm on the right track again. And the Mounjaro is definitely helping me. Ozempic was good for getting my hemoglobin A1C lowered. It got down to 6.3 5, which is awesome. But there was no weight loss, so it didn't help me in that regard. But the Mounjaro is really, really helping so far. So, I just gotta stay on the right track. And I do have a slow metabolism. That is something that runs in my family, so I have to be very, very careful with the carbs and the starches and the sugars. So I have to eat more vegetables. And I can only really eat fruit earlier in the day. If I eat fruit late at night, it makes my blood sugar spike. And then I have to do extra fast-acting insulin to counteract that. And the insulins hold on the weight. So it's like a vicious circle. So, but hopefully Nathan and I can, cut back a lot of this stuff that's growing in between the fences here. He did that whole corner there. But we need to continue doing all the rest. And since we won't have rain, hopefully he'll be able to cut the grass as well. So probably not all in one day. Probably do cutting the grass one day and then clipping back stuff, the other day. So I help out with the stuff that's not so high. And the stuff that's sticking out of the fence. But, he handles the higher stuff. So I'll try to help out as much as I can, as much as my body will let me. So, but yeah, it's really nice right now. I used to sit out here with my previous 2 dogs, Cassidy and Snowball. And we would just chill, especially towards the end. I remember Snowball, my American Eskimo boy, he would lay on the patio and just have that big American Eskimo smile. And Cassidy would sit next to him. They grew up together, so they were brother and sister. And now we have little Shayla. And, we were thinking of, maybe getting her, a brother or sister, but I think she likes being the only dog. So she likes being the princess. So, which is okay with us because, I don't know if we could afford another dog. And that's what people need to consider, when they go to, hopefully adopt. And for those people who, go through a breeder or what have you and buy a dog, you need to really, really think about it seriously because it is a long-term commitment and you need to be able to pay for the vaccinations and when you have to go to the vet and food and grooming. But we really lucked out with Shayla. We originally went there to the dog rescue to meet with he was like a Papillon and Chihuahua mix. And we went to go see him and we took, Cassidy and Snowball to do a meet and greet to see if they got along and would be okay with each other. And he was so tiny that the closed off area that they had, he slipped right through the slats of the wood gate that they had. And I was like, I was like, he was just so tiny. And he seemed very, very scared. And I can't remember, but I don't think Snowball liked him very much. I don't know. Probably was a jealousy thing. So then they said, oh, you have this other small dog, because we wanted a smaller dog. Because I really am not supposed to lift more than, 10, 15 pounds because of the umbilical hernias, and I have a mesh in there, which probably will have to be replaced again. So then that would be my 5th umbilical hernia surgery. And so anyway, you were looking for a small dog. And so they said, oh, we have this other small dog. She's a female, and she's a Chihuahua Rat Terrier mix. And so we said, okay, let's see if we can see how Snowball and Cassidy, take to her. And they sniffed each other, and they were very nice. Nobody growled or anything like that. And they were following each other around in the closed off little area that they had. And so we adopted her, and she's been just so good. Because you hear some of the horror stories, like, they don't know how to, walk on a leash, and they, aren't trained to go potty outside, and, all sorts of things. So, we really lucked out. And Shayla's my little sidekick. She's my little companion. So, yeah, see the welcome mats are still wet. Snowball used to like to sit there on that mat right there. So, hi. You're just chilling out? Yeah. But yeah, she's such a good little girl. Yeah, you're a good little girl. She does have separation anxiety. I think she bonded more to me than to my boyfriend Nathan, because on the ride home, I was holding her while Nathan drove, and so I think she bonded with me first. And so it's like, if I go outside, or if I have to leave the house for a doctor appointment or what have you, she's very, very, she's like, afraid that I'm not going to come back, I guess. But I think that stems from when she was with her previous owner. They were kind of a older person, and they got sick and ended up in the hospital. And then they weren't able to come back to their house. They had to go to a nursing home. And so the person's son was, taken care of. I guess the woman had a couple of dogs, and so her son, then had to go and take care of the dogs. And he had a family of his own. He was married and had children, and he didn't really want to take care of the dogs. And so after about 2 weeks, no, don't you eat that. No bird poop. No. So anyway, so yeah, he knew that he wasn't able to, take care of them properly. So then he surrendered them to the dog shelter. And so that's how we got Shayla. And she is 2026, this August 19th is when we adopted her in 2021. And she was about a year and a half is what our vet estimated at that time. So that would make her, let's see, that would make her 6 years old, I think. It's too early for my brain to do math right now, but I think she's gonna be 6 years old. Oh, she found a nice spot with sunshine. Yeah, she likes to be in the sun. My previous girl, Cassidy, she was a Black Lab Terrier mix, and she loved the sunshine. Snowball liked the shade, and he liked the snow, and Cassidy liked the sunshine. She didn't like rain, she didn't like snow. She was like, I'll go potty, and I want to go back inside. So, and Snowball would find a snowdrift in the backyard here, and he would just lay in a snowdrift with that American Eskimo smile on his face. And I would have to like persuade him to come back in the house. It was like, no, you can't stay out here too long because it's too cold. But yeah, I have a picture of him with his, doggy jacket on. I had the doggy jackets for them, and he would just find a snowdrift, and he would just lay right on top of it. He was a unique dog. So, but I have to spray some of the neem oil on my yellow rose because it looks like there's a sawfly eating the leaves on my yellow rose bush, so I'm gonna have to spray some neem oil, NEEM, and probably should spray another application on the two white roses on the corner of my house. So yeah, those sawflies are vicious this year. Because I've had the rose bushes for over 10 years, probably like 15 years now. And I never, saw that happening on their leaves. And it's like why is, I'm like, what's going on here? And I didn't want to lose my rose bushes. And so on here, I did a video and asked for advice, and MD Media 18, Matt, and Pseudonym, they left me a comment on that video and said, you need to get neem oil. N as in Nancy, EEM as in Mary. So if any of you have rose bushes and it looks like some insect is eating the leaves and they look like Swiss cheese, you gotta get some neem oil spray and spray your rose bushes, and that'll help protect them. Yeah, it's very nice outside. We're just breathing in the fresh air. Yeah, you can hear the birdies. We haven't seen any squirrels, just birds so far. Birdies. So, well, I hope everyone has a good Friday. And if I don't do a video this weekend, hope you all have a nice weekend. And to the fathers out there, hope all the fathers have a great Father's Day. And hope that you know how much you're appreciated by your family. And I guess that's it for right now. I'm going to try to do a live. We'll see if YouTube will let me. It was only letting me do like a 15-second live, short, whatever thing. And it's like, I want to go live. Oh, what you sniffing, Shayla? We might do a fire pit. Since we're not going to have rain for a couple of days, it might be a good weekend to do a fire pit. I have tons of little twigs and branches and pine cones to to burn. We have a whole stockpile. So, alright. Well, we're going to go get some breakfast. Right, Sheila? She already got her breakfast, but I need to eat breakfast. Because I used to thought that, oh, it's okay to skip breakfast or skip meals. And the nutritionist, the dietitian, she said it's very important to have 3 meals a day. They can be small, they don't have to be big, but 3 small meals a day, and you can have a couple snacks, because she said you have to keep your metabolism going. If you skip meals and you think, oh, I'm going to just do the starvation diet thing and I'll lose weight, she said that is, that's not the way to go. And it's like, yeah, I tried that, when I was younger, and all it did was, make me super hungry, and then I would overeat, and my boyfriend Nathan, he also has been like only eating like 1 meal a day, and then he, has like a protein bar or something for like, other times. And it's like, no, you need to sit down and have 3 balanced meals. You need to have your veggies, and the nutritionist says I have to have protein. With every meal I have to have a protein and not so many carbs and starches. So, and I have lost a few pounds, so I just got to stay on the right track. Alright, well, we're going to go inside, and I need to eat some breakfast. I usually like a Greek black cherry yogurt with some type of fruit with that, either blueberries or strawberries or blackberries, or a small banana. And sometimes I have like a piece of toast with avocado. Sometimes I make scrambled eggs with spinach and cheddar cheese. So, and then I have like these protein shakes, because when I was, I had to prove that I could lose the weight, and they said, well, before we do the gastric sleeve, you need to lose 40 pounds. So I had to be on this like protein shake only diet, and so I would have the shakes for my meals, and I did it, and then after the gastric sleeve I lost another 40 pounds. So it's like, I can do it. I just have to stay on the right track. Alright, I don't want her to eat any bird poop that's on the patio here or anything like that, so she's getting probably bored just sitting here. And y'all are probably bored with me jibber jabbering. So alright. Hope everyone has a great day or a great night. And hope the weather is nice where you are. And I hope everyone is happy, healthy, and safe. Bye-bye. Bye.